So we have been making really awesome progress here. Notice that a few of these methods, we haven't really done much inside of them, right? So you can do things if you want, but on failed, of course, we can put a message there for ourselves or for our user, something more user-friendly, so to tell them that something went wrong. On connection suspended, we can do that, and we can do all sort of things as well. But I'm not going to do that because you can actually put that code if you wish to do so, which you should in any production application. Now, the last thing we need to look at here is the on location changed. This is where we are going to update our user interface. So in this case here, I'm going to go back and say if, check, making sure that we don't have a null object there, location, in the rare case. If that's not null, then I'm going to go ahead and say text view, location text view, set. And then I'm going to go ahead and say again, longitude, or I guess I start with latitude. And I'm going to say location.get latitude. And I'm going to add longitude like this. Say location.get longitude. Very good. Let's go ahead and use our message format, which we love so much. So everything is formatted. Before we run, I noticed something is missing here. So I'm going to actually have to do another if statement right below where we create our permissions to request. I'm going to do the same boring thing. Version code or version dot SDK int is greater or equal to build dot version codes dot m, like this. And I'm going to say if permissions to request dot size is greater than 0. That means then request permissions. I'm going to pass our permissions request to request, say to array, okay, and I'm going to create a new string, which I'm going to make it a size of the permissions to request, like this, and then I'm going to pass all permissions result. Okay, looks like we have something. There we go. Very good. So at this point here, I think we should be good to go because we do have our client. Everything is setting up. Okay, we're not using our floating action bar. All right, let's go ahead and run. All right, so as you can see here, it says allow test location to access these devices location. Let's go ahead and try deny. So if you deny, look at this. These permissions are mandatory to get location. Oh, very cool. So I'm going to say okay, and it's going to ask me again, allow test location to access this device's location, right? So that's good. So the deny is working, meaning he gives me the rationale behind the reason why they have to allow this permission. If I say allow, as you can see here, we have our emulator latitude and longitude. So now, because we are inside of an emulator, that means we are not actually moving around. So we can't really see the update going on here. But the good thing is we can actually use a tool inside of our emulator here that will allow us to push or send coordinates. So if you click on these three buttons here, so click there, this should appear. And then we go to location, the first one, keep it at decimal. And notice these numbers are actually the ones that are showing here. So this is latitude 38422 and 118084, right? So now if I go ahead and change something here, let's say 18 and hit the send button. All right, so notice it changed a little bit there. Of course, it's not accurate. Let's put 111 there. Again, change to 117. Okay, so it's pretty close to being accurate. Let's say 8. Let's see what's gonna happen. And there we go, -8. So it's fairly accurate. We can also change the latitude. Let's say 3. We take a few. Look at that, 3.6, 3.4, and you can see it's working fairly accurate there. So let's go back to 1 And let's say 3 there. Let's go send both. There we go. 33, 18. Very good. So now we can see that things are actually working. So congratulations. It was a lot of work to get to this point here, but nevertheless, I think this is one of those chapters or one of those sections that you can always come back to see how things are done when trying to get your device's location and updated. In this case, I'm not running this app on an actual device, so we have to emulate the movement of the device. As you can see here, we can push or send random longitude and latitudes here. But of course, if you were to run this application on a device, it would be able to actually go and track the correct latitude and longitude, and you can see it changing as you move around. And make sure that the changes may take a little bit depending on the intervals that we set before. Remember, in our location request. At this point, you may be asking yourself, wow, this took a lot of work to just get something like this. It is true that we had to write quite a bit of code, but also remember that I had to take my time explaining things as that's probably one of the reasons why it took a little bit longer. But nevertheless, now you have basics on how to use the new APIs, the Fuse Location API, and get the user location and updates and so forth. So even though it's a very mundane application here, nonetheless, it's a very important one because it actually gives us a little bit of more understanding on how to use this wonderful Locations API. So what I want you to do as a little challenge on your time is I want you to recreate the entire application that we did, this one here, on your own. But paying attention on all of the callbacks, paying attention what is the process. So remember, first of all, we have to get the Google Play service, right? And make sure that we're connected. Pay attention to the activity life cycle. So congratulations. And I'll see you in the next videos where we're going to talk about maps. All right. I'll see you next.